In the dinner party, there are 36 women from 3 different eras of history. If I had to make another wing, I would choose these women. The criteria that I would use would be women that have impacted the world in a positive way and help us move forward in progression in any way, shape, or form. Let's start with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the youngest woman to be elected in the House of Representatives from New York's 14th District. Her passion, working her way up, dignity is one of the reasons why I think she should belong on the table. I also think her social media influence has inspired a younger generation to get more involved into politics. Her growing up from a struggling background where she had to go through the death of her father while going through the Great Recession of 2008, I feel like she has a connection with more in common with the common person than the rich elite. Another person I would like to put on the table will be Michelle Obama. Her poise, her class, her intellect, being there by Barack Obama's side during his 2 terms, and showing a great deal of intellect and a great deal of character in her part, and also her independence as a woman. Changing things up a little bit, I would like to acknowledge a director. I think the director Ava DuVernay would be a perfect candidate for the table. Her work in the Academy Award-nominated movie Selma about Martin Luther King's March was perfectly executed in what they had to go through. I do think that her movie Selma was underappreciated. I know that with movies there are historical inaccuracies for reasons to make it a coherent story, but I think that this film is a great portrayal of Dr. Martin Luther King during a certain era. It does not follow the certain generic biopic story of birth to death. I also think that her documentary 13th is a well thought out documentary about the 13th Amendment that has the loophole in its clause. Speaking of the civil rights movement, the other woman that I would like to put on the table is Rosa Parks. Yes, we all know that she did not give up her seat for a white man, but there was a lot more that she has done. Before her arrest, she was actually a member of the NAACP, became active in the civil rights movement in 1943. The last woman I would put on the table is actually one of the most recent people that have actually got this status. While I'm recording this, it just happened yesterday. The last woman I would put on the table is Kamala Harris. Well, one of the obvious reasons of her being on the table is being the first female vice president. I do think her tenacity, her integrity, her passion, her ability to listen to the situation at hand and see what we can make a solution out of it. I also love that she keeps her dignity in check. With watching the video about the dinner party, one of the things I did not expect was how massive it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a painting. I did not expect it to be a triangle with each side representing an era of human history. And also, I did not expect the representation of 36 women. I honestly thought it was going to be a few, but with her choices I understand why, especially during the modern era with faces and names that I can recall. I honestly believe that this is a good representation. I love the setup, the symbolism with the plates, the design of each table to be in line with the characteristics of the person, and overall the craftsmanship of the silverware. On the dinner party, I do believe that this work is still relevant even to this day. Women are still breaking barriers, breaking molds, and accomplishing stuff that they have always wanted to achieve without stopping them. Even still breaking barriers today with my last entry, Vice President Kamala Harris. They're still making impacts. With the dinner party, I understand what Judy Chicago was trying to go for. When I first looked at the setup, I noticed there are some women that I never even heard before from Wing 1. Notice their impact in the Roman Empire. From Wing 2, there are some people that I am aware of, familiar names like Elizabeth I and Theodora. And from Wing 3, there are women that are a lot more familiar to the modern day, like Virginia Woolf, Emily Dickinson, and Susan B. Anthony. I know if I had to add a fourth wing, some of these choices are common sense and some of them are my personal favorites, but I know that they have made an impact in the world with any contribution that they have made, whether it's movies, writing, laws, and the stuff in between.